Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm recording 5070 paper 2, that is theory paper of October-November 2016. I have already posted question number 1, 2 and 3, and today I'm going to solve question number 4. Alright, let's scroll down. Scroll a bit too much. Alright, so we're going to do question number 4 and further questions in this video. Okay. If you want to check out my previous videos, I have put the link in the description and you can check it out. Moving on to question number 4. Propane CH3COCH3 reacts with iodine to form colorless products. The reaction is catalyzed by hydrochloric acid. The table shows how relative rate of this reaction changes when different concentrations of propanone, iodine and hydrochloric acid are used. Part A says, describe how increasing the concentration of each of these substances affects the relative rate of reaction. If you look at propanone, so as propanone over here, right, this is propanone, it doubles. Basically the rate doubles. As we double it, like here we see it's 2 times, it increases by 2 times. Hence the rate of reaction also increases by 2 times. So we can say that both of these, like when concentration doubles, the relative rate of reaction doubles too. Alright, so basically this doubles the rate of reaction. Moving on to iodine. And iodine, if we see, we can, like, because here it is getting doubled because of propanone, so we'll go to the second and third step to determine about iodine. And as you see here, there is no change, yet it has changed over here. Okay, so we are going to ignore this part. We are going to see that between which two reactions the concentration of iodine has been changed in the input part. So here we see, like here it has been, this way it has been doubled in this way. No, basically it has been increased, right? It has been doubled in this way. So from reaction 4 and reaction 3, or in other ways we can say it has been halved in this way. Alright, either we can say that it has been halved or it has been doubled. However, if we see at the relative rate of reaction, it's same, there is no change, there is no effect. So we can conclude or deduce that iodine does not affect the relative rate of reaction. And then if we talk about hydrochloric acid, as we double hydrochloric acid, as we double it over here or we half it between second and third reaction, we can see that it, again, as all the other factors are constant as the first reaction, like all of these factors are constant, right? Except what? Except this, right? So as we see that here it has been doubled, so over here as well it has been doubled. That means it's from 5.1 to 10.2, which clearly tells us, very clearly tells us that as we increase the rate of reaction, hydrochloric acid means it has been doubled. In other words, as we increase hydrochloric acid, relative rate of reaction increases. I hope you understand my point. Alright, because if we see these two things are the same over here between reaction 2 and 3, we're considering these two reactions. Reaction 1 and 2 we're not considering because in this there are two factors that are changing which will not help us out. So that is why we will just see the only one factor that's changing, which is of hydrochloric acid between reaction 2 and 3. And as we halve it, it gets half the relative rate of reaction. So propanone doubles. As we double propanone, rate of reaction doubles. Iodine, it's same. It does not cause any effect on hydrochloric acid, also doubles as the rate of reaction doubles. It's a very simple question. You need to look at the graph. You need to look at the table, whatever will be given in your question, and you can easily solve it. And you'll get 3 out of 3 marks. Part B. Increasing the temperature increases the rate of this reaction. Explain why in terms of kinetic particle theory. It is very easy. It's a very common question, and in every rate of reaction question, if you get this question, you will always have this kind of a part in it, this kind of like explain in the terms of kinetic particle theory. So in in the terms of kinetic particle theory, we can say that as temperature increases, the speed of particle increases because it gains energy, and as it gains energy, so there will be more successful collisions, hence the rate of reaction increases. Moving on to part C, iodine has several isotopes. What are isotopes? Isotopes are the particles, we can say the atoms of the same element but with different neutron numbers. That means their proton numbers are same, however their neutron numbers are changed. Hence their atomic mass is also changed. Astatine is a halogen. Aqueous iodine reacts with aqueous acetatide ion At- to produce astatine. Construct the ionic equation for this reaction. So if we see iodine, it can be because we are going to use At- over here, so it can even be HAT. However, the spectator ions need to be cancelled out in our final equation. We need to know that. Alright. So, anyways, we're just going to, write an equation with all the spectator ions cancelled out. What are spectator ions? The ions on both the sides of the reactions get cancelled out. Those which are cancelled out are known as spectator ions, and only, of course, the one that are in aqueous form are in the ionic form can, be dissociated and hence cancelled out. So, we are going to assume that H plus is cancelled out and At- is remaining in the reaction, and as we can see over here again it will be 82, which is a diatomic particle, and this will be plus I minus. Alright, why I minus? Because we are again assuming that H plus has been cancelled out. In other words, we can assume over here that H plus over here, there is an H plus over here and there is an H plus over here as well, which has been cancelled out, hence we didn't write it in our final equation. It is as simple as that. So you can also mention the state symbols over here if you want, although it's not so necessary because it's only 1 mark question, that is why. Moving on to part E, aqueous hydrogen iodide reduces hydrogen peroxide to water. Explain how iodide ions act as a reducing agent in this reaction. So it is because they lose electron. Alright. So that, and because you're talking about iodide ions over here, we can see they're losing electrons. So that is why it is the reducing agent. I'll give you this kind of short form. Loss of electron is oxidation, and gain of electrons is reduction. So when one reduces, the other oxidizes. Alright, we all know that in a redox reaction. So the one which has gained electrons have reduced, and the one which has lost electrons have oxidized. So as we can see that it gives its electrons to hydrogen peroxide over here, hence this redox reaction has taken place, where one loses electrons and the other gains electron, because iodide ions is losing electrons, right? It causes the other thing to oxidize as it gains electron, right? Acts as a reducing agent, right? So here as we can see, as it is acting as a reducing agent, so it will be getting oxidized itself, it will be losing its electrons, hence it causes the other particle, the hydrogen, to oxidize, to reduce, right? That's why it's a reducing agent. Alright, I hope you understand. It was kind of, I got muffled up. I got confused in the question. However, I hope I'm able to make it clear to you. Moving on to question number 5. Nickel carbonyl reacts with hydrogen iodide. Calculate the percentage by mass of nickel in nickel carbonyl. It's again a very basic question, a very normal question, and if we see, the molar mass is nickel carbonyl's molar mass, if we calculate through the periodic table which is given to you at the end of the question paper. At the end of the question paper, you'll see this periodic table given to you. It is 171. Alright, and if we do the mass of nickel, let's see the table directly. Alright, Candium, titanium, nickel, right here it is. So basically, if we calculate it, so let's make the whole formula. I'll calculate it and show it to you guys. Alright, so over here, as we just saw that nickel is 59, right? The atomic mass is 59. Alright, and here it is 171 nickel carbonyl. I calculated 171 before so that it doesn't take a lot of time. How to calculate 171? It is really easy. 59 plus carbon, there are 4 carbons, so 12 into 4, and there are 4 oxygens, so 4 into 16, and we're going to add all of them up and we'll get 171 as the answer. And because we need to find the percentage over here, so we are going to multiply it by 100. If you calculate it, your answer would be somewhat 34.502, 34.502, but you just don't need to write all of the numbers after the decimal. You just need to keep it to one decimal place and it will be enough, because we're talking about percentage. That much of accuracy is enough for it. So now we're going to calculate the maximum volume of gas formed at room temperature and pressure when 1.7 gram of nickel carbonate reacts completely with hydrogen iodide. Okay, so we'll just see if 1.7 gram is reacted. So how many moles? First of all, we're going to calculate the moles. The simple way to calculate moles is equals to mass into, like, mr into the mass that is given. Mr divided by mass divided by the mr given. Alright, that's moles formula. Alright, so moles is equals to, this is a symbol for moles. Alright, just writing it in short. Alright, and this is the mr that we have, and this is the mass that is given to us in the question. Alright, this is the molecular mass and this is the mass that is taken up. So we'll calculate it, and what will be the answer? The answer would be 0.01 moles, right? Okay, so if we move ahead to it, then we're going to calculate the maximum gas formed at room temperature. Now we will multiply it by 5, so 0.01 into 5. Alright, the moles into 5, we're going to multiply by 5, and then of course whatever the answer will be multiplied by the constant temperature and pressure, the constant pressure at room temperature. So this is going to be 0.05, and we will then multiply this with 24. Why 24? Because 24 dm cube is the standard pressure at room temperature, and the answer would be around 1.2. Make sure you mention the new unit, because here unit isn't given. 1.2 dm cube. Alright, I will always prefer you, I'll always suggest you to write it in dm cube, because that's like the one that we usually use when we talk about pressure. That's the unit we use. The structure of nickel carbonyl molecule is shown. Predict two physical properties of nickel carbonyl. Two physical properties of nickel carbonyl is first of all that because it has single bonds with each other, it has low melting point, and because all of it doesn't have any free electrons, so it does not conduct electricity. These are like two physical properties that we can deduce from the structure. Moving on to part D. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck for your exams.